Hey guys, good afternoon and welcome to Praise Dance Selection Tuesdays. And the song of the day is Pray For Me by Kirk Franklin. Ha! I got the name and the title right and I didn't screw it up. So I'm going to jump right into it. The first verse really spoke volumes to me and it affected me a lot. And I'm going to tell you why in section 3 as I summarize and share my experience with you. But I'll read the first verse and it says, "You can keep your fancy words and color lies. Nothing super spiritual, not this time. Just pray for me. Cause judging me is not helping me to grow. Pray for me. See the wrong I've done, I already know. Will you love me if I'm dirty and I've lost my way? Till the blood is washed me white and I'm no longer gray. If I don't need your approval, will you let me stay and pray for me?" So section 1, in analyzing keywords, I want to focus on the keywords, which is fancy words and super spiritual. So the first question is, explain in your own words what fancy words and colored lies mean. Second question, what does the writer mean by super spiritual? Third question, what image comes to mind when you think of the word super spiritual? And number 4, if you could come up with 3 adjectives related to the word super spiritual and then try to embody those images. So whatever picture that comes into your head, try to describe it using body gestures or body movements. Section 2, developing a concept. And remember, I always tell you that it's within this section right here that you have to be really honest and really deep. So the key words or the key sentences that I picked out for myself that related to me was, "Cause judging me is not helping me to grow. Will you love me if I'm dirty and I've lost my way?" So it was those 2 sentences that really spoke to me and brought back a lot of memories. So the first question is, have you ever judged someone based on their lifestyle? Question 2, did you pray for that lost soul or did you just walk away? Question 3, did you accept that person after they exposed their ugliness or did you look upon them with disgust? And question 4, if that person came back and asked you for help in their present dirty state, what would you do? And again, be honest, nobody judging you. This is between you and God, but the more honest you are within developing the concept, then the easier it is for you to create the vision and create the movements and create the choreography. So again, it's section 2 that you really have to dig deep and be honest with yourself and, think of experience that you can relate to. Section 3, summarize your experience with keywords to come up with biblical solutions. So this is where I come in and I share my background, and to be honest with you, I stopped this tape maybe 2 to 5 times because I cried and I got really emotional. So I'm going to try to my best just to get through this section. During my internship, I interned at a methadone clinic for 9 months. And it was during the therapy session that a client asked me, how I felt to be around his kind, heroin addicts or people who struggle with drugs and stuff like that. And I was very honest with him. I told him my family was robbed by a crackhead, and it was from that time that I hated drug addicts. I couldn't stand them. I thought they were the scum of the earth and I just wanted them to die. Yes, I was very blunt, and that's what I told the person. And my supervisor, she was shocked. She didn't know what was going to happen, but they were very open and wanted to listen to what I had to say. So as I told him my experience and my disdain for crackheads and how I didn't like them, I told him that it was maybe that next week that the Lord convicted me and he told me that these are my people and I love them too. And from that moment I felt so bad, and God just opened my eyes and changed my perspective, and he showed me that they are people who are struggling with an addiction. It is a spiritual battle for them, and they are like puppets on the strings. They can't help it. They are being controlled. They are a slave to the drug. They can't help it. So I began to get flooded with all these images, and my heart just went out to them, to a point where I choreographed a piece called Redemption. And it was a story of how the world views and hate heroin addicts, and God wants to come in and just wash them clean and just save them and get them to a better state. And once I told them that story, they looked at me, they was like, wow, thank you for your honesty. And out of my honesty and sincerity, I told them, I said, thank you for this experience, and I'm humbled to be in your presence, just hearing your story and your rawness and your struggles and what you lost, and how you fight your addiction daily, I said it really changed me. And I thank that whole group for just allowing me to become a part of their circle and, to share their experience with me. And, out of that, I, adopted a family and a little brother and a very close friend who I love dearly. And sadly, that person, he passed away on drugs and stuff like that. So it was that moment, those 9 months, that really changed me and changed my perspective on looking at drug addicts and even homeless people on the streets. I just have such a compassion for them, and I see it in a very spiritual, different light, that it's demonic and it's spiritual warfare that they're going through, and they're being tortured daily by these demons. They're crazy people, they're out of their mind, and they're talking to themselves. They're just really being tormented, and it's up to us, to have compassion and to help them. And even the drug addicts on the street, they can't help it. They don't have a way out, and if not for the power and the blood of Jesus, then they're lost forever. So who are we to look down on them and to judge them if we don't know their story? And I think it was those 9 months, just constantly hearing their perspective and where they came from and what they lost, just filled me with so much compassion. So okay, I got through it, and that was my experience. So number 3, the key words that came out of that experience for me was liquid handcuffs, state of Macedonia, tears of a clown, and the laughing puppet. And again, those keywords triggered a memory for me and reminded me, of their experience and keywords that, they talked about. Biblical solutions that I came up with, and it's 2 verses. If you can go with me to Galatians 6:2, and it says, carry each other's burden, and in this way you will fulfill the law of Christ. And the second verse is John 15:12. My command is this: love each other as I have loved you. And it was John 15:12. I always would volunteer to, serve them during lunch, and I loved it. I throw on that apron, I put on the little, plastic gloves, and I get the food, and I have my spoon in one hand, and, I would slop up the food, and I put it on their plate, and I was just so happy, just serving them. And they're looking at me like, yeah, you're serious? I was like, yeah, I'm here to serve you. What can I do to help you? I'm not here to judge. I love you guys for who you are. It's your realness and your raw stories that I'm attracted to, that I really do have a genuine love for you guys. And, I'm being honest with you. And they accepted me. So, every Thursday, I try to do every Thursday, I would, go and serve them, and I would have a smile on my face, I would talk to them, and they would have jokes, and, majority of them lived in homeless shelters, so they would come back, ask me for more food, and I didn't have problems, piling food on their plates and running around and looking for, plastic bags to give to them. It was just such a joyful experience. If I had the opportunity, I definitely would, do it again. So again, it was John chapter 15 verse 12 where it says, my command is this: love each other as I have loved you. God really helped me, to apply that verse to what I was doing within that place. I really loved them, and it was nothing but the love of God, that just filled me with so much compassion, towards those people. So section 4, which is the last one, you want to give a title of your praise dance. So my title was, I have a couple, because this is so near and dear to me. My first title was Lean on Me. My second title was A Sinner's Prayer. My third title was Shelter from the Rain. My fourth title was Glimmers of Hope. Number 5 was Lost But Not Forgotten. Number 6 was Open Your Mouth and Save Me. And number 7, Fallen into the Abyss. So this was the dark side of seeing somebody and just imagining a dear friend of mine who passed away within that clinic. I just imagined him, being stressed out, nobody to talk to, nowhere to go, and him dying with a needle in his arm. So I can imagine, in a spiritual level, I guess, kind of sort of like, the TV movies that they have, him dying with the needle in his arm, and he's in darkness, and the demons are coming to take his soul and drag him to hell. So again, that title was Fallen into the Abyss. So that's my spill. I hope you guys enjoyed this lesson. If it was a little bit dark, then I do apologize, but I really like that song, pray for me, and it gave me a lot of images and it made me think, and I just want to share my experience with you. So if you come across, those types of people, if you see, the crackheads and the homeless people on the streets, just a reminder just to be mindful of who they are. Number one, they're people. Two, they're God's creation, and we are to love them, and get to know their story before you judge them. Okay, guys, thanks so much, and I'll see you next Tuesday with the song. Again, this song was Pray For Me by Kirk Franklin. Subscribe to this channel. Again, put in the inbox any songs or suggestions that you would like to go over as a group, and we can look together within the comment box and dialogues. All right, guys, thank you, and have a blessed day.